Hello, BookTube. How's everybody doing? So today is, well, this will be posted on the 21st. It's my birthday. Yay. So for this video, you're just going to get me, the Becky half of the Bookish Bryants. Scott and I've been kind of sick. We've had this head thing going on that's turned into a throat thing. It's a summer cold. Yay us. Happy birthday to me. But so it's sort of a start of week 4 almost of Autumn Amour, and we just completely missed week 3. Wait, not to say that we didn't read. I've read so many books, but we didn't get a chance to do any videos, so I'm sort of making up for that now. But like I said, it's my birthday, so I have decided I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, which is romance. I want to talk about like all different kinds of romance, the things I've read and the things I've noticed this last week. So last week the prompts were the sweet or spicy. You have to tell me in the comments what you read. I'm dying to know. Did you discover that you were a fan of the spicier books, which I am? I do love my spicy. Or did you discover that you were a fan of the sweet, sweet and clean books? I know some of you were planning to read some Amish romance, and there was some Regency romance. And after my first week with Regency romance, I'm scared of it. But I read it's something I found really interesting. I did no preparation for this video, just so you know. You can tell by my voice, I'm not 100%. But I read, like I said, I read a lot of books. And I actually read one that it was perfectly clean. The only thing that happened was a kiss there towards the end of the book. And what I found interesting about it was the fact that it was clean did not make it sweet. It was a very dark tale. It was romance all the way. There was absolute romance in it. It was an arc. I think it's called Blood Pawn by Sierra Rowan. I think that's right. It was an arc that I got that I actually really enjoyed. I did. I really enjoyed it, and it was very, very clean, but it was a very well written book. But then I read another book that it was a little spicier. I can't remember what it was. It was a little spicier, but it was extraordinarily sweet. That it was it's called a reverse harem romance, and what it is this one female has several love interests, and she doesn't have to choose. They're all fine with sharing, which I'm here for, because you get several love stories in one romance book. Bring it on! I'm here for it. And the thing about this book was the female lead. The female main character is the nucleus of their group. She is the absolute star to their solar system, and the sun in their solar system. And I enjoyed that. And again, it was a little spicier, but it was tremendously sweet. Tremendously sweet. So I was really surprised by that. The book that was supposed to be really, really sweet was dark. And the book that was supposed to be really, really spicy was extremely sweet. So, okay, I'm here for it. But what I like about the experience I had is that like I said, I was reading a reverse harem romance. There's one author that I'm reading right now for the have and have-nots. And it's about a young girl. She's an adult, but she's young, has grown up with a handful of boys in her neighborhood, and it's a very small, very elite neighborhood, because they're all rich as sin. They're so wealthy, every last one of them, and she's absolutely stark raving mad about every last one of them. And it's sweet as it can possibly be. And this one, it has both. It has the haves and it has a have not amongst the group, which I find that fun. And I'm loving the fact that I'm discovering all new ways to look at romance. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Um, my brain's not running on all cogs, but I'm also discovering that a lot of books that have been good tried and trues are no longer that anymore. Like the Regency romance I read, there's a theme that I absolutely cannot abide in romance, and it is enemies to lovers romance, and you get that a lot. You get that a whole lot. People who absolutely detest each other at the beginning of a book grow to love each other throughout the events of the story. And okay, I can sort of see that, but a lot of the enemies to lovers books that I read, very many of them, they go too far. The Regency romance I read, they abused the main characters, the male and the female lead. They abused each other for the first 30% of the book. Abused each other, and they said some things that you can't take back. Some awful things, but they're pretty. So they obviously have to fall in love because they're pretty, not because they each, in context of each other, have the personalities of a rhinoceros. No, it's just that they're pretty, and that's it. That's their only redeeming qualities as far as the other is concerned. That he's just so handsome, and that bothers me. I love a good slow burn romance. I do, especially if there's actually romance. If these two people, I like my romance. Honestly, my favorite romances are when the male and the female experience that chemistry, and they spend the book building that chemistry, building a relationship. If there's any drama, any bullying, any pain, it comes from outside the relationship. I like to see a united front in my romance. And let me tell you, and this is going to sound really weird and really rambly, but that I think that my preference for that came from the movie Poltergeist. And it took the brand new absolutely awful remake of that movie for me to understand why. In the movie Poltergeist, I'm sure most of you have seen it. It's been out since like I was born, which is almost exactly 40 years ago today. But anyway, in the movie, this family they've moved into this new house that has just been built in a brand new subdivision out in the middle of California, and they're haunted by these horrible poltergeists. And the thing about the movie, and why I'm bringing it up on a discussion about romance, is that the family is a cohesive unit. The husband and the wife are extremely in love with each other. They are obviously in love with each other. They present a united front from beginning to the very end. And that's what sells that movie for me. The fact that this family stands together from beginning to end, and all of the strife and drama and angst and pain comes from outside of the relationship, and it only makes them stronger. And I love that. Oh, I love that. And that's what was missing from the remake. The family, they were so dysfunctional, and it made it just completely barely not worth watching. And that's where my absolute love of that cohesive unit from the very beginning comes from. And I say that I love a good slow burn romance, but I love a good fast romance as well. give me insta-love any day of the week, as long as they present that united front from beginning on all the way through. And there's one thing I've seen a lot with, I'm sorry, there's so many I'm speaking through cotton. I did it again. I feel like the Knights who say knee. But my train of thought derailed. There were no survivors. Okay. What was I going to say? What was I talking about? Cohesive units. Oh, I know what I was talking about. So next week is, what is next week? It's, dang it. It's traditionally published and independently published, and you could bet your sweet bippy I'm gonna be going hog wild on Kindle Unlimited. But one thing I've noticed a lot of, and for some reason these things are showing up on my Facebook like they're going out of style. I've seen so many try this new bully romance today, and I'm like, pardon the French, but what the hell is a bully romance? And why is it a romance? Why would romance start with bullying? What? No, romance should not start with bullying. It shouldn't be normalized, I think. But I ain't teach his own. That might be somebody's kink. I'm here for it. Bring it on. But it doesn't appeal to me. And for some reason, it keeps showing up on my Facebook. Like I looked those up ever. I'm like, oh, I want to read a book about a guy like abusing his girl for like the first half of the book. 30% of that Regency romance. And I tracked it. 30%. It was at the 30% line that she said, maybe he's not such a bad guy, and she stopped being awful. 30%. That's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. That's why I like the book, The Duke and Miss Denny, by, it was something Joy. I can't remember her first name. I am so sorry to the author who wrote that. But it's called The Duke and Miss Denny. And it's wonderful. It's a young woman in I think it's Regency England, has a sweet romance with a duke, because there are apparently more dukes than you can shake a baguette at in England. And it's, the whole book is about the romance. It's about them building the romance, and I am here for it. I love that slice of life thing, where the whole book, it's not about drama. It's not about somebody betrayed this person. It's about building that wonderful, wonderful romance. And let me tell you, I'm such a dork, but one of my very, very favorite things in a romance book is when two characters sit down and talk about their relationship. Communication is sexy, folks. I love it when two people, it doesn't even have to be about the sexual aspect. It can be about things like I've always dreamed of my wedding being like this, or I've tell me more about what you expect from this relationship, or just something where the two characters are talking to each other about where they want things to go in their relationship, what they want, what they enjoy about the other character. I love it. Absolutely love it. Like I said, and it's something I've said in a whole lot of reviews that I've put online. Communication is sexy. It is just wonderful in a romance novel. Listen to two people share their troubles, explain why they had a problem with something the other person did, and move past it. I like to see relationship building. And when the first 30% of a book is the two characters actively destroying any kind of relationship, it just, I'll skip right over it. And I'm really, really, really bad about this. I tend to skip books that actually have the word betrayal in the title because I don't like that. And I think it's because I have a really soft heart. When I learned this very early on in my romance career, when a character actively betrays another character at the very beginning of the book, and the rest of the book is them getting over that, I can't empathize at all with the characters. Mainly because I don't. A lot of times it's the guy. He was caught with another woman because he couldn't be with the woman that he wanted because he wasn't good enough. Probably had arthritis, but this is a long inside joke if you haven't watched any of our earlier books or earlier videos. But I have trouble forgiving the betrayal myself, let alone the heroine of the story, or in some cases the hero. It's the same with bullying and enemies to lovers. I have trouble forgiving the abusers when they've been actively abusing someone for the first 30% of the book. 30%. And what bothers me about the romance I'm talking about, the Regency romance, is not only did they spend the first 30% of the book abusing each other, he spent the next 85% of the book lying to her. And I'm talking big lie. Big, 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 big lie. So yeah, I have a hard time forgiving betrayals as a reader. And I cannot imagine being in that situation in which somebody betrayed me on a majorly fundamental level, and I was able to turn around, forgive it, and decide I was in love with that person. I can't imagine being that forgiving. I don't know what that says about me, honestly. It's probably a good thing that Scott and I have been together for 17 years. I would be screwed on today's market. 17 years, can you believe it? And on September 21st, or that's my birthday, September 25th, we'll have known each other face to face for 17 years. He's put up with me for 17 years, folks. It's crazy. But yeah, this has been a very like train of consciousness video. I had no plans on what I want to talk about. It just turned into a big long romance rant. But yeah, I think the enemies to lovers is my biggest pet peeve. It's just it just turns me off. And you know another thing that bugs me, something else that really grinds my gears, is when, and this happens a lot with the guys, with the male, the main male lead of a book, and it's actually used entirely too much. It's something I talked about earlier with the cowboy with arthritis, is when a male lead decides for the heroine, that he's not good enough for her, that she would be better off without him. This ties right back in to my my communication is sexy. I love communication, and that right there is like the #1 pet peeve of mine when it comes to lack of communication in books. And it happens a lot. And there's that one, I can't remember what it was called. I've blotted it out of my memory. But there was the one about the cowboy who he had been on the rodeo circuit for years, and he was about to retire, and he had rheumatoid arthritis, and he decided that he couldn't be with the main female lead because he had arthritis. I have arthritis, and I take offense to that. Offense. I don't. Well, I do. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's phony. You know what I mean? It's something that yeah, nobody's going to act like that. He's going to look at her and he's going to say, I have arthritis. I'm sorry. But I'm probably the wrong person for you. Excuse me. And okay, and she's going to look at him and she's going to say that's bull S and move on. But no, he had decided her future as well as his and buggered off. And that upsets me. There was another one I read. I'm still salty about it. I mean, still salty about it. And it was a wild, sort of a Wild West, a Western romance, in which I'm not going to tell you too many details because I don't want to give away what the book is. If you've read it, I'm sorry, but can't remember why the main male lead he and his girl had this torrid affair throughout the entire book until at the very end he decided he needed to leave because he was not good enough for her, because she needed to find somebody who was worthy of her. So he left. She was friggin' pregnant. And he came back 2 years later. 2 years later. That was how they finished the book. I've never been so mad in my life. That was one of the books I actually thought about chucking across the room. I'm okay with drama. Bring me some drama. Bring me on a woman who's trying to get between the male lead and the female lead, but she can't because they present a united front. I am here for it. But don't give me a male lead and a female lead who are having trouble, and he decides she's not good enough for him, so he goes off with another woman. Come on. That's not romance. There's nothing romantic about that. But I have big opinions about these things. But like I said, I like a touch of drama in my romances. I mean, they're romance. There's going to be some drama there. But I like it when the drama comes from outside, when there's active forces working against this couple and they are doing everything they can to keep their love alive and to stay together and to present a united front to the world. You know, to show the world that their relationship is lasting, you know, is going to last until they're reincarnated as like karmic butterflies or something, you know. That's what I like to see. I like to see a good, strong relationship. And if they actually communicate, I'm here for it. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I found that this week in and actually the reverse harem romance I'm reading. It's a girl. Like I said, it's a girl and the boys that she grew up with, and they talk to each other. They communicate with each other. And that does it for me. That makes me a happy camper. It makes me build the happy chemicals in my brain. You know? I'm going to go read some more romance. Yep. So tell me what you guys read this week. I'm dying to know. I want to know if anybody's found like a new genre that they absolutely love, or if anyone's going to like run off and jump on the first reverse harem book that they can find, because I said to. Because you all know I'm the end all be all of romance, right? But I'm going to go like die and read more romance. So thank you for listening to my rambling. I'm terribly sorry. I did not mean to wander off onto a tangent. I got excited about what I like to read. And I like to talk about that. So tell me what you like to read. And let me know if you're having fun with this Autumn Amour thing. I'm enjoying myself silly, let me tell you. So, your books are calling. Go read.